Hey everybody, Kicking a Retro here today, and welcome back to our Pokemon 3rd Generation Emerald Wi-Fi battle. This is against Xander or Gen X3. Now, this team is based around Snatch Blissey. You heard me right, Snatch Blissey, which is here to steal every Calm Mind, every Substitute, every Swords Dance, all of those boosts away from the opponents. It's backed up by a core of Wish Salamence, Metagross, good old standard Crocoon, and a very surprising Weezing I think you guys will like. But that being said, let's get into the battle and see how it went down. I've got a really cool surprise for you, but we'll get there. See you in the battle. This goes down as one of my battles in history that has the coolest ending, no pun intended, and teaser that I can possibly bring to you. However, I do have some caveats to what you're seeing on the screen, and we'll get into those a little bit later in the video. So there's a bunch of double switching at the beginning of the game, and we finally end up on a turn where a Salamence is facing down my Blissey. I'm not interested in taking a brick break of any kind, so Gardevoir is definitely the swap that I make. Now he brings in a Regice. I was like, alright, I'm going to get a free Calm On just to kind of get a little bit of Team Scout, kind of see what his team is cooking. And then I double out into Metagross to get Thunder Wave. I'm not too worried about that because of Heal Bell, but that's the thing. So Donphan, as I double back into Salamence to get an Intimidate off, and let me tell you something, I still take way too much damage from this Rock Slide. I am specially defensive Wish Mints, but still, way too much damage. I protect to get a little bit of leftovers and swap into Blissey, hoping that I don't have to get frozen by an Ice Beam. He gets a crit on the switch. Even if I would have gotten frozen, I could have swapped out with Natural Cure, but it would have been absolutely frustrating. I go for a Snatch, we wait to make his move, and it's a Calm Mind. You know, back a long time ago, people used those Blisseys that boosted their special attack with Serene Grace with Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, and then basically just use Calm Mind and I guess rest. But this time, I didn't even have to do that, because I stole Calm Minds from you. I allow him to get up a Calm Mind as I Heal Bell off my Metagross like I was talking about, as I try to snatch more Calm Minds, as he passes Special Defense to a Donphan. I'm not sure if maybe that makes his matchup with Suicune a bit better, but I take the Rock Slide really well and double out into my Metagross, and I get the situation I want getting into Regice, as he goes to Donphan. Now, I know Donphan definitely would not have taken or appreciated a Meteor Mash, but I just wanted to go for Earthquake just in case he went to something like Suicune that would resisted it, and I could just get a good hit off. I'm going to sub up with this Weezing. This is sub Will-O-Wisp Hidden Power Weezing, and let me tell you, it makes T-Tar cry. I've got enough set up to still 2-hit KO T-Tar after a layer of spikes with Hidden Power, and then burn things on the switch, and get a little bit of speed creep on slower waters like Suicune. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I remember Suicune beginning to run its offensive setup in Generation 4 when Life Orb came out. And let me tell you, this does a lot for being a specially defensive Blissey. Well, as much special defense as I have. This is modest Suicune, guys. That is no joke. I double out into Salamence to get the Intimidate on the oncoming Blaziken. Blaziken in Generation 3 is one of the scariest mixed attackers in the entire game, and he hits me with that +1 Rock Slide, and that does take me out from that range. I don't think he wants to risk a speed tie with Gardevoir going 284 to 284, so I bring that in to shut that Blaziken down immediately. Thunder Wave is going to get my Blissey on the switch as I snatch to try to set up, see if he's going to Calm Mind up, and he does not. Regice does not learn Calm Mind. Anyways, he has the Thunder Wave Bolt Beam most likely, as I'm going to go ahead and go for Snatch again, predicting him to set up Swords Dance with Blaziken so that I could take whatever hit from him. I bring in Agiligos, I set up an Agility, and I go for another one, just because I don't know what else is on his team and I want to outspeed absolutely everything. Now, it doesn't matter what happens here as long as he does not knock me out, which he doesn't, allowing me to get my Liechi Berry off, and let me tell you something, whether I was burned or whatever else, Boosted Explosion with Liechi Berry with high attack base Metagross is knocking that thing the frick out. It's done. Donphan against Weezing. He goes out into Salamence. Now, I am really curious about this Salamence. I go for Hidden Power. I'm not sure why, but I'm intimidated. So, I would like to get a Poison. Can I have a Poison? Yes! Let's go! This is the original this is a more original Dark Smoke variant. My original one was Choice Banded. However, that doesn't really jive with Will-O-Wisp and Substitute. So basically, we're in a situation where I need him to miss Rock Slides, and I can knock him out with a Sludge Bomb. Pay very close attention to this next turn, because it's very important. As the Rock Slide takes me out, and he dies to Poison, remember, Donphan is down. But here comes Donphan. What just happened to my game? As I set up a substitute, there's some glitch with the fire-enhanced Donphan. So now we have to go back in time, jump in the time capsule, and go back a couple of turns. I don't want to get anybody confused, but basically what happened is there was the coolest fiery game glitch I've ever seen. So now we're back to that same turn with that hidden power into the Salamence. Because that stalling shenanigans and tactic, that Donphan, the sub-stalling, that's all the same thing. But I decided to go from that turn and play onward, just to make sure there was no more corruption or glitches. But I'm going to take the opportunity, while this stall war between Donphan and Weezing are going on, I'm going to explain the caveats to Emerald DX. There are a couple caveats. Since the item addresses have changed in the game and things change internally in the system, I have to play through it and see like where leftovers is and stuff like that. Because you're going to laugh, because you're like, yeah, Retro, there's no leftovers being gained in Emerald DX. You're right, because if I show you the team on Emerald DX, they've got all soul dues. Don't ask me, the address has changed, I have to find where they're stored. So, plus there seems to be some battle corruptions that I'll have to work around. So those are a couple of things to think about as far as Emerald DX. Let me know in the comment section if you really like the Emerald DX, the first thing I showed you, and I'll definitely try my best to record in that. I do like that a lot more. It's a lot more enhanced for Emerald, and I think it's really pretty, but at the same time, I don't want to offset any of the things that happen in the battle, and that's very, very important. However, you also might say a couple of things like, hey, they didn't go for this. This seems a little bit strange. You're right. I actually do recreation battles. I do Wi-Fi battles too, but I ask friends and such to help me with recreated battles to take what I've already done and put it into the emulator. It takes a lot of time, and they're not perfect, but I try my best to get pretty much the same thing that happened in the battle, if not, as long as it's not like super hacksy. Like I've got a tournament game coming up that I'm going to record that I most definitely can never replicate that hacks. It's not going to happen. It's way, way too close. That being said, we get Gardevoir in Donphan. I realize Donphan died last time, but it happens the same way as Gardevoir just knocks it out without boosting. So it happened out the same way. So in comes this Suicune, and the thing about Suicune is I can't Calm Mind against it. And I know it's modest and I could easily wear it down with Thunderbolts. However, in the original battle, this was a Suicune versus Suicune battle, and that's what happens with this Roar. This Roar brings out Suicune. Now, I don't know about you guys, but offensive Suicune, the only thing he could possibly threaten me with is, like, I would believe a 4-hit KO with Hidden Power Electric. And other than that, I'm not scared of absolutely anything that Suicune wants to go for. I could Calm Mind all over this thing and rest as well if I needed to do that. So, Crocoon absolutely wall stalls this Suicune. If it comes down to 1v1, Crocoon can win this single-handedly. So I think he's just going for some damage ranges. Hydro Pump seems to be the best thing he can hit me with. I don't know what his fourth move is. I haven't seen it. It's modest. I'm a little bit faster. And I just kind of knock out the Suicune before it becomes a problem. But you see there, he is doing an impressive amount for being resisted with the Hydro Pump, which tells me, indeed, he is modest. Alright, so those shenanigans are over. Now we have Celebi to deal with. And Celebi could be a bit of a problem. I can no longer deal with its Calm Mind shenanigans in the same way since I've lost my Blissey. But I was like, you know what? I think I can win the Calm Mind war with this thing. The only issue here, and the only difference that I want to point out, is as long as he does not crit me, and I am 1 Calm Mind ahead of him, I can be like 4-hit KO'd by Giga Drain, and he's 3-hit KO'd by Ice Punch. And it doesn't even matter if Gardevoir hits Salamence. Gardevoir can go down because my Suicune is at plenty of hit points to deal with Salamence. Until this happens. I get crit all the way down to 4. Now, as I said, in the original fight that did not happen. So I go for 1 boosted Ice Punch, it does about 34%. However, Gardevoir is actually outspeeding. That is why the Heal Bell is cast on the Celebi side by my friend, so that I could get the same scenario, which is a couple more Calm Minds in. In the original game, I had about 4 or 5 Giga Drains that I took, and I boosted up Calm Mind to Calm Mind War versus Celebi, and it doesn't matter because it happens the same way. At the end here, the Gardevoir will knock out the Celebi, leaving only the Salamence and the Suicune. But let me tell you something, this battle isn't over. Or is it? I go for the Ice Punch, and now I knock it out. I only needed to survive 1 Giga Drain and knock it out. So now Salamence faces Gardevoir. Now after Leftovers Recovery and the amount of Calm Mind boosts I have, I don't know what this thing's moveset is, but the fact I've seen Dragon Claw and Brick Break leads me to Elements, which really concerns me for its last move. Because I haven't seen it. Elements can run like Fire Blast, and then they can bait Swampert with Hidden Power Grass. I think you see where I'm going with this. I'll bring in Suicune, and every standard Salamence that I know dies in 1 hit from an Ice Beam. He gets a really high range on Hidden Power. I'm thinking that's electric. Come on, I'm watching the HP bar go down, down, down. He lives on Abysmal Zero. Hold on. He gets frozen rock solid, gets his Leftovers Recovery, and I'm thinking, how on earth did he live that? But he defrosts on the next turn, goes for Hidden Power Grass Hole. Oh my god! I literally thought I was about to lose that game. I live on 32 HP, and we finish this off with a very cool ending. Thank you guys so much. Let me know if you like the Emerald Deluxe, and we'll see if we can do more in the future. I explained all the discrepancies. Thank you so much for watching, and look forward to the tournament game this weekend, or possibly before, and a new episode of Xenoverse on Friday. I'll definitely have the tournament game up before the weekend. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Power on, power off.